Stop scrolling. Something rare, something forbidden is happening tonight. And if this message reached you on this new moon, it's not a coincidence, it's a summon. Tonight is the dark moon of destiny, and the universe is releasing 7 hidden messages meant only for the ones chosen to hear them. Before we begin, your energy is being scanned, your timeline is being read, and your destiny is already shifting in real time. Type "I receive" if your body just felt that sudden pull, that strange electric signal running through you. Message number 1 begins the moment you feel that strange weight in the air, the kind of pressure that doesn't come from stress or fear or overthinking. It's the pressure that appears when the universe is about to reveal something it normally hides. This new moon is not like the others. It opens a door that most people will never see, never sense, never feel. But you can feel it pulling on you. There's a quiet tension around you right now, almost like the world is holding its breath. You might have felt restless or charged or unusually aware of your surroundings. That is the signal. That is the confirmation. The new moon is showing you the shadow door, the passageway between who you have been and who you are becoming. Others won't understand this. They'll think you're overreacting, imagining things, being dramatic. But deep inside, you know something is coming. Something that feels bigger than luck, bigger than coincidence, bigger than chance. It feels like the kind of shift that only happens once in a lifetime. And you're right. Tonight, that hidden door is opening, but not for everyone. There is a reason you're hearing this message, and not them. There is a reason your soul vibrates differently tonight. There is a reason everything around you has felt strangely synchronized. The dreams, the thoughts, the repeated signs, the unusual inner calm between waves of confusion, all of it was preparing you for this moment. This door appears only in darkness. It reveals itself when your life looks uncertain, when you feel alone, when you can't see the next step. That's because this door responds to the ones who keep moving even when the light is gone. It responds to the ones who don't surrender in silence. It responds to the ones who can survive the waiting period, the confusion, the inner storm. And here's the truth most people never learn. The universe does not test your strength. It tests your consistency. Anyone can keep going when things make sense. The chosen ones keep going when nothing makes sense at all. This is why you've been feeling what you've been feeling. This is why the energy around you has been strange, unpredictable, almost electric. This is why people shifted, plans broke, emotions surfaced, and everything slowed down right before today. The universe wasn't blocking you. It was positioning you to face the shadow door. And here's the twist, the part that separates you from the rest. This door does not open with force. It does not open with fear. It does not open with desperation. It opens with endurance. It opens for the ones who choose to keep walking when every part of them wants to turn back. It opens for the ones who keep believing even when they can't see proof. It opens for the ones who choose themselves even when the world doesn't. You've survived too much to stop now. You've healed too much to go backwards. You've grown too much to shrink again. And deep down, you know it. There is a part of you that refuses to give up, even when you feel exhausted. That part of you, the stubborn, determined, unbreakable part, is exactly why the door is appearing for you tonight. You didn't reach this moment by accident. Nothing about you is random. You've been walking through shadows for months, maybe years, without understanding why. And tonight, you receive your answer. The shadows were preparing you for the shadow door. When you step through it, your path changes, your energy changes, your opportunities change, your entire timeline starts shifting in your favor. But remember this with absolute clarity: the door only opens for those who don't quit in the dark. If you are still here, if you are still listening, if something in your spirit is responding to this message, then you already know you're meant to walk through it. If you're not quitting, if you refuse to stop now, if you're ready for what's on the other side, type, "I'm ready for the door." Message number 2 begins with a truth most people are afraid to admit. Your past timeline is collapsing. Not slowly, not quietly, not gently. It's collapsing right now, in real time, while you're listening to these words. You've been feeling it, the emotional distance, the sudden endings, the strange silence from people you once thought would stay forever, the unexpected tension, the drifting, the disconnect. These weren't random moments. They were the signs of a cycle shutting down. When the universe is ready to move you into a higher path, it doesn't always do it softly. It removes, replaces, breaks, closes, and clears. It lets the wrong things fall apart so the right things can finally fit. That's why people fell away. That's why plans stalled. That's why everything slowed down before this day. It wasn't rejection. It wasn't failure. It wasn't abandonment. It was redirection. You were not being punished. You were being repositioned. Think about everything that recently ended in your life, every door that closed, every connection that faded, every moment you felt like the universe was saying no. It wasn't saying no, it was saying, not here, not with them, not on that timeline, not in that version of you. The version of you that struggled, doubted, settled, overgave, stayed silent, tolerated disrespect, that version cannot enter the future that's being built for you. That version had to collapse. That timeline had to collapse. That identity had to collapse. And yes, it felt painful. Yes, it felt confusing. Yes, it felt unfair. But pain is often the handwriting of destiny. Confusion is the hallway between two chapters. And what felt unfair was actually the universe protecting you from paths that would have drained your soul. The collapse wasn't destruction, it was preparation. But here's the twist. The collapse is not an ending, it's an upgrade in disguise. Read that again in your mind. Let it sink in. Every piece of your old life that fell apart was clearing the space for something bigger, cleaner, more aligned, more divinely timed. You're stepping into a version of yourself that no longer fits inside the walls of your past. You're expanding in ways that your old reality could never hold. That's why people who once understood you suddenly don't. That's why conversations feel different. That's why familiar places feel unfamiliar. That's why you sometimes feel like a stranger in the life you used to recognize. It's because you are not meant to return to who you were. Your past timeline is dissolving because your future timeline is demanding space. Think of it like shedding old skin. Think of it like outgrowing a room. Think of it like the universe whispering, "You're done here." You've moved through lessons that others didn't. You've faced storms that others ran from. You've healed wounds that should have broken you. You've survived seasons that were designed to shape you. You have no idea how powerful you've become. And now, the universe refuses to let you shrink back into the version of life you once accepted. This collapse, this breaking, this shaking, this falling apart, it's not a loss, it's an initiation. You're stepping into a timeline that requires clarity, strength, intuition, and self-respect. That's why everything that lacked those qualities was removed. You weren't losing anything. You are being upgraded. You may not see the full picture yet, but you've already felt the shift, the moments of deep silence, the sudden realizations, the emotional downloads, the intuitive knowing that something new is coming. Your soul knows, your energy knows, your future knows. And here's the most important part. You don't have to chase anything that's meant for you. Your new timeline is already aligning itself. People who match your energy are already being guided toward you. Opportunities that fit your future are already moving in your direction. The life you've been praying for is no longer ahead of you. It's coming toward you. But to receive it, you must release the timeline that is collapsing. Say it with conviction. Say it with intention. Say it with clarity. If you can feel your past dissolving, say, "I release the old." Message number 3 begins with the feeling you've been trying to explain, but couldn't find the words for. There's a strange energy inside you tonight, something you can't ignore, something you can't reason away. It feels like a spark, a pressure in the chest, a pull in the stomach, a quiet voice that keeps whispering, something is about to break open. You're not imagining it. That sensation is real. That inner electricity is real. That sudden awareness is real. What you're feeling right now is the new moon activating your miracle frequency, the part of you that attracts, accelerates, and receives the things your soul has been waiting for. This energy doesn't show up for everyone. Most people are numb to it. They move through life asleep, unaware, disconnected from their intuitive channels. But you're different. If you can feel this spark inside you, it means your spirit is online. It means you're aligned. It means you're stepping into a state where miracles can reach you without resistance. Tonight, your inner frequency is shifting. You may feel restless. You may feel excited. You may feel strangely emotional or unusually calm. You may feel everything at once or nothing at all. But deep inside, you sense that something huge is forming in the unseen. This is the moment before the breakthrough. This is the inhale before the manifestation. This is the vibration before the miracle. The universe doesn't always announce blessings with signs in the sky. Sometimes it announces them with a quiet, unexplainable spark inside your body. And if you're feeling that spark, you need to understand something. It's not random. It's not a mood. It's not coincidence. It's activation. Your intuition has been louder lately for a reason. Your thoughts have been sharper for a reason. Your desires have been clearer for a reason. Your dreams have been more symbolic for a reason. The universe has been aligning everything inside you to make sure you're ready for what's coming. And trust me, something is coming. You're entering a phase where your inner world becomes your strongest guide. The ideas you get, the nudges you feel, the sudden decisions that make no sense but feel correct, the moments of clarity that appear without explanation. All of these are the miracle signal speaking to you. But here's the twist. The signal only strengthens if you listen till the end, if you stay present, if you trust the process, if you honor the energy that's rising inside you right now. The mistake most people make is ignoring the spark. They feel the pull, but brush it off. They get the sign, but doubt it. They sense the shift, but talk themselves out of it. And because they ignore the signal, their frequency fades, and the miracle passes them by. But you're not one of those people. You're here, you're aware, you're tuned in. Your miracle signal is already inside you, and every single minute you stay open to this message, that frequency grows stronger. Every second you allow yourself to feel this energy, It amplifies. Every moment you trust the shift instead of fearing it, your timeline rises. This is your awakening into a new level of receiving. You're no longer someone who hopes for miracles. You're someone who attracts them. You're someone who commands them. You're someone who vibrates at the exact frequency where miracles actually show up. Think back on the last few days. The bursts of inspiration. The sudden urges to change something. The random waves of motivation. The strange clarity that came out of nowhere. Those weren't random. They were your signal turning on. And here's the truth. Once your signal is activated, your life can't stay the same. Doors open faster. People appear out of nowhere. Opportunities align perfectly. The things you once chased begin to chase you. Your reality rearranges itself in ways you can't predict, but instantly recognize as divine timing. So if you feel that spark, pay attention to it, don't run from it, don't doubt it. This is your confirmation. This is your proof. This is your moment. If you can feel that inner activation, that pull, that spark, that shift, say, I feel the activation. Message number 4 begins with a truth people rarely understand. Right before a blessing arrives, life gets confusing. Things slow down. People go quiet. Opportunities seem to pause. Your emotions fluctuate. Your mind questions everything, and you start wondering if you're doing something wrong. But you weren't doing anything wrong. You were entering the alignment test. The universe tests your alignment, not to punish you, but to prepare you. It doesn't test what you want. It tests what you believe. It tests your trust. It tests your patience. It tests your ability to stay centered when everything around you feels uncertain. If you felt alone lately, it wasn't abandonment. Abandonment empties you. This didn't empty you, it sharpened you. It pushed you inward. It forced you to hear your own voice. It made you rely on your intuition instead of the noise around you. That wasn't loneliness. That was calibration. You were being aligned with a higher path, and alignment often looks like isolation. You were being pulled away from distractions, drained connections, false paths, and old versions of yourself. You were being guided into a quiet space so you could see your next steps clearly. Think about how many times you asked for clarity. Think about how many times you asked for direction. Think about how many times you prayed for a sign. And then, everything became quiet. That silence wasn't the universe ignoring you. It was the universe answering you. Clarity doesn't arrive in chaos. Direction doesn't appear in noise. Signs don't show up when your energy is scattered. So the universe slowed your life down so your spirit could speed up. It removed certain people so your heart could breathe. It paused certain plans so your intuition could reawaken. It created distance so your energy could realign itself. Everything you thought was falling apart was actually falling into place. But here's the twist. The test ends tonight. The reward begins tomorrow. This is the final stage of your alignment test. The moment where the universe watches your response, not your fear, not your doubt, not your impatience, your response. Because the blessing that's coming requires a version of you that doesn't collapse under pressure. A version of you that doesn't beg for signs, but recognizes them. A version of you that doesn't chase, but attracts. A version of you that doesn't break during the test, but rises from it. And you're becoming that version you've endured more than you admit. You've stayed strong longer than you planned. You've trusted the process even when you didn't understand it. That's why the test is ending. That's why your energy feels different tonight. That's why your spirit feels like it's shifting. Your old reactions no longer fit you. Your old fears no longer control you. Your old patterns no longer own you. You've outgrown them. You've outgrown the version of you that used to panic. You've outgrown the version of you that used to settle. You're stepping into a timeline where things finally align the way they were meant to, where doors open without force, where opportunities show up without begging, where blessings arrive without warning. This is your reward phase. This is where everything begins to make sense. This is where your patience pays off. But for the universe to close the test completely, you must choose your alignment. You must claim it. You must stand in the frequency that matches your future, not your past. If you're ready to lock yourself into the right path, if you're ready to step out of the test and into the blessing, write, "I pass the test." Message number 5 begins with a truth very few people ever recognize while it's happening. Your destiny is being redirected right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday. Tonight. This new moon is pulling you into a new timeline, one that moves faster, rises higher, and finally aligns with the life your soul was always meant to live. You've felt the shift already. You've sensed it in your body. You've noticed it in your emotions. Something inside you feels different. Like the old path no longer fits, no longer excites you, no longer feels like home. That's because your spirit is outgrowing everything that once held you. This is why you can't go back. This is why old energies feel dead. This is why certain situations no longer feel alive inside you. When the universe redirects your destiny, it does so by making your previous timeline feel too small. You start feeling disconnected from places you once loved. You start feeling restless in situations you used to tolerate. You start realizing you've surpassed the version of life that once felt comfortable. That is destiny at work. That is evolution. That is transformation in its purest form. You're not losing the past. You're graduating from it. Think about how many cycles recently ended without your permission. Think about how many connections faded without a fight. Think about how many opportunities dissolved even though you were prepared. At the time, it felt like loss, but now, if you look deeper, you'll realize it was redirection. The universe wasn't taking something from you. It was pulling you away from timelines that no longer matched your vibration. Every delay was protection. Every ending was guidance. Every detour was alignment. Some doors closed because your energy was outgrowing the room behind them. Some people disappeared because their chapter in your story was finished. Some opportunities didn't work out because they belonged to a version of you that no longer exists. You're not the same person you were 6 months ago. You're not even the same person you were last week. Your thoughts are sharper. Your intuition is louder. Your boundaries are stronger. Your soul is wiser. That's why you're being redirected. The universe refuses to let you stay in a life you've outgrown. But here's the twist. The new timeline only locks in for those who finish this message. It requires full alignment. It requires full presence. It requires full acceptance of who you're becoming. Most people don't make it this far. They quit too early. They get distracted. They lose focus. They fall back into old patterns. But not you. If you're still here, it means your spirit is strong enough to complete the shift. You're walking through an energetic doorway, and every word you hear is pulling you deeper into your aligned future. This moment is not small. This moment is not random. This moment is a choice point, a crossroads between who you used to be and who you're about to become. Your old timeline was built on survival. Your new timeline is built on alignment. Your old timeline was filled with repeating cycles. Your new timeline is filled with forward motion. Your old timeline drained you. Your new timeline elevates you. This is why your energy has been shifting so intensely. This is why you've been craving change. This is why you've been feeling pulled towards something you can't explain yet. Your soul knows where you're going, even if your mind hasn't caught up. You are entering a phase of life where things begin accelerating, not slowly, but suddenly. Opportunities show up quickly. People appear who match your frequency. Blessings arrive without warning. The things you once chased begin moving toward you. You will notice it piece by piece. The clarity, the confidence, the emotional release, the sudden motivation, the quiet inner knowing that says, "This is it." This is the timeline where you rise. This is the timeline where you heal. This is the timeline where you finally receive what you've been manifesting for years. But listen carefully. The universe can only anchor this new timeline for you if you consciously choose it. You have to declare it. You have to align with it. You have to let the past dissolve completely without dragging it forward. You're not going backward. You're not repeating old cycles. You're not losing anything. You're shifting. You're upgrading. You're stepping into your destiny. The new moon has opened the path. The signal is active. The energy is flowing. The redirection is already happening. All that's left is your choice. If you're still here, and if you're ready to step into the timeline that was designed for the highest version of you, type, "I choose my new timeline." Listen closely. You've been seeing the signs. You've been feeling the nudges. You've been experiencing moments that felt too precise, too intentional, too perfectly timed to be random. You've noticed the numbers repeating. You've seen the same patterns appearing. You've had dreams that felt more like messages than imagination. And deep inside, you know something or someone has been directing your steps. This is the hidden hand of the universe. It appears only when a person is about to enter a life-changing chapter. Not before, not after. Only when the timing becomes divine. And right now, your timing is active. You are being guided by an intelligence that sees farther than you can, that knows more than you do, and that has already walked ahead of you to clear the obstacles you haven't even reached yet. You didn't randomly get pulled towards certain people. That was guidance. You didn't randomly feel the urge to leave old environments. That was guidance. You didn't randomly discover this message today. That was guidance. And if you're honest with yourself, you felt it. You felt that strange push. You felt that quiet whisper. You felt that invisible force trying to reroute you, protect you, elevate you. You were not imagining any of it. There is a reason your intuition has been louder. There is a reason something in you keeps saying, "Pay attention." There is a reason synchronicity is becoming your new normal. You are entering a phase where nothing happens by accident anymore. Every delay has meaning. Every redirection has purpose. Every new connection has destiny written on it. You are not walking alone. You are being escorted. And even if you can't see the full path, you are being shown, one step at a time, one sign at a time, one whisper at a time. Now hear this clearly. The more aware you become of the guidance, the stronger the guidance becomes for you. The universe doesn't speak louder. You simply start listening deeper. And if you're still here, that means you're aligned with the message you were meant to receive today. Comment, "Guide me," if you trust the path that's unfolding for you. If you're still here, you weren't watching by accident. You were summoned. The activation starts now. Type, "I am the chosen one," 10 times. Tonight, your destiny arrives.